So I recently found out that some of my content was reposted onto Reddit by somebody not me, and that kind of bummed me out. I try not to be bummed about it, but here we go. It's Tuesday night. I sold 20 kits, so I got to make 20 portions of noodles, 140 grams a piece. So there's my 1,115 grams of flour, 11.2 grams of gluten, 11.2 grams of salt, 11.2 grams of our baked baking soda, this stuff can be pretty caustic, so be careful with this one. We got 450 grams of filtered water. Into that, you're going to mix up your salt and your basic solution. And mix. You got your wheat and your gluten together in the stand mixer, and that's going to mix for a little bit just to combine. And generally, I add my water to flour in like 2 or 3 divided doses. Basically, the water is starting to wet the flour, it's starting to hydrate the flour, and then things start to get kind of clunky, and you see it's starting to move the machine around a little bit. But this is kind of to simulate hand kneading or machine kneading. But you see the soboro, the kind of clumps of flour that you're looking for. So batch 1 is done, and I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process with batch number 2. Bring out the big boy. My Chinese-made noodle press, also known as the Monster Mash 4000. This noodling method is something I've developed over a few months. You see here, I'm putting the soboro into the top and sheeting and creating a little loop, little front loop, like a little ribbon, and that's on the tightest setting. And then I'm using the ramp to add material to that loop, all the while expanding and allowing for a thicker sheet to be formed. Here's the hard part, which is the lamination of 2 or more sheets. That part is a little bit tricky. I do have a spindle set up, but I'm not using it here. You see, I'm really stressing my machine out, and I'm really cranking this thing hard because it's Tuesday night. It's like 9 o'clock. The kids have to go to bed, and I'm just trying to get this done. But here you can see I'm working on the second batch, and what I'm trying to do is get that front loop going, and I'm adding all that material to the chute so that it just attaches itself to that ribbon, and that ribbon grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And eventually what you get is 2 batches of sheets, and then you laminate them together. And the lamination is really how you build a strong ramen noodle, in my opinion. Once you have your laminated ribbon or laminated sheet of noodle dough, basically from there you are taking it to the thinness that you want. This is just going to be successive passes through the machine with a tighter and tighter aperture between the 2 rollers. The more laminations you perform, it seems like the stronger noodle you get in the end. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking and just let you guys watch this for a bit. Right about here, you can't hear it, but my 3-year-old is trying to eat the noodles. She's successfully eating little balls of dough that end up on the side. I'm really just trying to keep her hands out of this thing, but she's 3, what can I do? Pretty much on this batch, I was really pushing the pace, and I think I overheated my machine because it was running really slowly. Alright, now we got our sheets. I wish I was cool enough to be able to cut off 140 gram sheets, but I'm not that cool yet. So I use my pizza cutter, cut off between 12 and 18 inch noodle lengths, and basically these are to be fed into the KitchenAid spaghetti cutter. I can't ever really get the noodle sheets to work or fit into the KitchenAid mixer, so I have to cut them in half like this. Once they go through the cutter, pretty much they just have to be dusted with cornstarch and then measured for 140 gram portions, and then we're good to go. I package mine up with a sandwich bags and heat seal them for storage in the refrigerator and for freezing. These noodles do really well in the freezer for up to, I would say, 3 to 6 months. The thing about the repost was that the poster couldn't address or didn't address any questions or comments about the noodle making process. So if you have any comments or questions about the noodle making process, please drop them below, because I'm always happy to talk about ramen. This is one ramen lord recipe that I've now done probably to the tune of at least 1,000 portions, and it's probably the only recipe that I've memorized from top to bottom. Anyway guys, take care.